Guys, once you have a child, there's no going back. You can't return them. Non-refundable. Gotta live with them for the rest of your life. Right now, today, I called my mother and I asked for a little bit of money because I'm running low. I'm her kid. It's for the rest of her life. She can't return me. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Ntwanie. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back and welcome to today's video. So I want to continue with my 30 lessons at 30 video. I did the first 15 last week. Yeah, I did it last week. And I just wanted to continue the rest of the 15 in this video. So I hope you like this video. If you do, please comment down below. Let me know which of these resonate with you. Like the video, share the video. It really helps with the algorithm. Subscribe if you like this type of content as well. We are still on our road to 10,000 subscribers. So yeah, let's get on to today's video. So the first lesson is that clarity and direction over speed. If you've been following me for the past couple of weeks, I've been speaking a lot about clarity. I've been speaking a lot about direction. I've just found that when you are clear and when you have direction with what you want to do, whether that relates to your health, whether that relates to your finances, you tend to take the right steps, even if you are taking the steps slowly, right? A lot of times, people will want to make fast decisions, right? We want to move fast, we want to achieve things fast, you want to lose weight fast, you want to grow your career quickly and fast. But when you actually think about it, is that in the direction that you want to go? Is that leading you to the direction that you actually want to go? Do you even have clarity about what you're doing, or you're just moving from one high-paying job to another with no end goal in mind? So what I have seen throughout my experience is that it's so much better when you have clarity and when you have direction over going fast in whatever it is that you're doing. And the second lesson is health is wealth. This is so cliche. You've probably heard this so many times, and it is true, guys. Health is wealth. If you're not healthy, if you're not taking care of yourself, if your mental health is on the floor, it impacts so much in your life. It impacts a lot of your productivity. It impacts a lot of the things that you do, whether that's related to your career, to a business, a side hustle, your job, your kids, your family, whatever it is. But if you're not healthy, it impacts so much of what you can do with your life. So health is really wealth. Like if you're unhealthy, if you're sick, you have some sort of condition, disease, it's so difficult to still be productive and to still work towards the things that you want to work on. So yeah, health is wealth. Lesson number 3 is that no one is out there looking out for you, and you have to ask for the things that you want. So I speak a lot about career in this channel because that's my thing, you know. But this applies to everything, guys. If there's something that you want, you need to ask for it. You need to go out there and look for it. You need to go out there and work for it. There's nobody who's gonna hand you life on a silver platter, who's going to hand you your dreams, who's going to hand you the things that you want, the life that you want. There's no one out there who's going to come to you with a paid up trip to Japan that you've been dreaming about. You know, you need to get up and you need to go and ask for those things. If it's stuff you need to ask for, you need to go work for those things. I mean, the Bible even says, ask and you shall receive, you know, knock and the door will be open. But if we just leave like everybody knows what we need out there and everybody is going out there to work for the things that we want, we're gonna wake up 40-50 years from now feeling dissatisfied and things haven't happened in our lives and we haven't achieved the things that we want to achieve because we didn't have the guts to go out there and to get it. So the lesson here is ask for what you want. Like no one is out there hustling for you. You need to go out and ask for it, hustle for it, work for it. The fourth lesson is that the top of one mountain is the bottom of the next. I had to learn this one really hard when I qualified as a CA, and I thought I am the creme de la creme, honey, of the CA profession. I felt like I had achieved so much and I was top of my game. But what I didn't realize then was that being at the pinnacle of my CA qualification journey meant I was at the bottom of my next season. Like, I was literally back at the bottom. Whatever else I was going to do after that, I needed to relearn. I needed to be a beginner again. I needed to adjust again to being the person who doesn't know, being the person who asks questions. But essentially, the whole point about this is that when you think you're at the pinnacle of one season in your life, you're always at the bottom of the next season that unfolds. And this is true, like in all areas of our lives. You know, when you think about, you've saved up enough money, you want to buy that house or you want to buy that car, and you're like at the top of that savings goal, you've reached the amount. Know that you'll always be at the bottom of your payments. Like, you're at the bottom of the chain again, in terms of owning this thing, sustaining this thing. And it's the same with your career as well, is that with every job that you take, you always start from scratch. You always have to learn something new. So yeah, I've kept that mentality that the top of one mountain is always the bottom of the next, and I shouldn't feel bad or feel like discouraged about starting over. And I'll get to the starting over part. The fifth lesson is learn to say no confidently. What I've realized with this is that when you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else, right? There's always like an opportunity cost, there's always an exchange. And so when you overuse your yeses, like when you say yes even when you mean to say no, know that there's something else that you're missing out on. So for example, your friends go, hey, let's go out. You don't want to go out. There's something else you could be doing with that time, or you just want to rest, and you say, yeah, fine, I'll show up. The moment you say that yes, you've said no to your rest time. You've said no to whatever else you would have been doing. And the thing is, you meant to say no. You wanted to say no, but you haven't learned, you haven't mastered the art and the skill of your no being a no with no further explanation. No is a full sentence. And I feel like when you get to the age of 30, you start to, I don't know what it is, guys, but like some of these things start to cement in your life. For me, I have learned to say no in so many different ways, even in my friendships. I'm pretty sure some of my friends will be watching this video and they're like, yeah, she said that before. I have, and I have also stopped like trying to please people, trying to make everyone feel satisfied or considered or things like that. Like, I used to be the planner in my friend group. Like, I used to be the planner. I'd be the one, hey guys, where are we traveling to this year? Hey guys, let's do brunch. Hey guys, let's do this. I was the initiator. And this year, honey, I just let it all burn. I just let it all burn. And I can tell you, there has not been a trip that we have gone to as a friend group. There has not been a brunch that we have had as a friend group, because I've just realized that, there are certain things in my life that are much more important and that I need to dedicate my time and my energy to. And I've also just learned for my no's to be no's. Like, if I don't want to do X thing, I shouldn't feel bad to say that I don't want to do it. So yeah, that is that. And then lesson 6 is embracing change and starting over. And this links back to the top of one mountain is the bottom of the next. Embrace change, guys. Like, embrace change. The only thing that is certain in this life is change, right? There will always be change. There will always be situations that need you to start over. Earlier today, I was cleaning my apartment and I was thinking about how I might have to move out of this place at some point. And a thought came to my mind, like, I don't want to move, I don't want to pack up and move again. But I then remembered the last time I moved, and now I'm okay, like I'm good. And that's the thing about change and starting over, is that it feels daunting, but when it's necessary and when you take the step, there's always a silver lining. Right, there's always a silver lining with that. When I moved from South Africa to the UK, it was the biggest step of my life. It was the biggest move I've ever made. But here I am, like 4 years later, here I am, and I'm okay, you know. So embrace change, embrace starting over. I feel like people who have the skill to start over and are not fearful and are not scared of starting over, they have a superpower, because no matter what happens to those people, they can always reinvent themselves. They can always reestablish their roots. They can always build themselves up. And I feel like it's one of the biggest lessons I've learned moving from South Africa to the UK and living here by myself with no family, no loved ones, forming new relationships, learning languages, learning the food, learning the transport system, learning everything that has now become second nature to me. The seventh one is that rejection is a redirection. And I know you guys know this. I know you guys have heard about this, but it is true. It is true. Every door that has closed in my life, every door that has closed, the opportunities that I have lost, I feel I have lost, the opportunities that didn't materialize, the opportunities that I didn't go for one reason or the other, the rejections that I received, all of that was redirection to the person that I am today and to the place that I'm at today. And sometimes we need to just trust the timing of our lives. I used to think back in the day that actually, let me phrase it this way. I did not think back in the day that I will be 30, unmarried, single, no children, no house, no car. Like this was not in my play cards. This was not in my plan. But you know what? Everything that has happened since then and everything that has happened until now, all the rejections that I've had, the moving abroad, the things that didn't work out, everything resulted in me being where I am now, right? I am so happy in my singleness, guys. I don't even want to lie. Like, I enjoy being single. I feel like I would have been miserable at this age, at this phase in my life if I had kids. I feel like I would feel restricted. Even having a husband, let's even leave the kids out of it, like just having a husband, I feel like I would have been restricted because there's still so much I want to do. And at that age when I thought I'd have these things, my mind wasn't as exposed as it is now. So yeah, man, I feel like all of these things that didn't happen actually worked out. You know, it worked out. It was redirection to a different kind of life that I didn't think was possible for me. And so I've just learned to embrace rejection. Is it hard? Yes. Is it difficult when you're getting rejected? Yes, it hurts, because you know, being rejected means that you really wanted that thing. That's why you went for it, but it didn't work out. And so it is painful, it is hurtful, but it's still redirection. It's like, not here, go that way type of thing. And I've learned that over the years. And 8 is that you are the architect of your life. You are the architect of your life. Your happiness, your joy, all of that depends on you. I have let go of the fact that my happiness is in a job, my happiness is in a business, my happiness is in travel, my happiness is in my parents or my brothers, or I've just let go of the fact that my happiness is somewhere else. Because the moment you start thinking that your happiness is elsewhere, then your happiness is not where you are. It's not where you are. And so I've learned that I'm the architect of my life. And if I say I am happy where I am, then that's that. You know, if I want to fulfill something and I want something in my life to happen, I need to wake up and go make that thing happen. I hold all the keys. I always say to my clients in coaching that I hold a thought for each and every one of my clients that I see, that you have the answers within you. You have the answer to the question you're asking yourself. The answer lives in you. The answer is in you. What coaching does is it questions you and helps you reflect and bring about that answer to the surface. And so it is true even in life that whatever we feel we want, whatever we feel we need is within us. We need to find a way to extract that. Happiness is within you. It's not in your next promotion. It's not in the next job that you have. It's not in the success of your business. It's not in how much money you make. Happiness is within you. Yes, achieving those things does make your life easier in a certain sense, but if you actually think about it, there are people who have achieved the highest point of their careers. They have success in their businesses. They are financially well off and wealthy, but they're still unhappy because those things make life easier. They give you options and choices, but your happiness lies within you. The next lesson is that confidence comes from action and not planning. Ooh. So a couple of weeks ago, I think I read a quote that says, you do not become qualified for something before you do it. You become qualified for something after you do it, right? And it fits so much with the lesson that I'm talking about here, is that to build confidence in something, to build confidence in talking to the camera, you need to talk to the camera. If I'm just sitting and planning and thinking and organizing in my mind about confidence in front of the camera and watching YouTube videos and listening to speakers, I will never be confident until I actually do it. And I want to liberate people who feel like they cannot apply for specific jobs because they're not qualified, or they cannot do a certain thing because they don't have a certain skill, or I could never do coaching because I'm not a great speaker, or I could never start a business because I don't know how to sell. Whatever it is, right? You do not qualify for those things by just simply learning about them. You have to do it, right? If you want to get into a certain job, you have to do that job. You have to do the things that are done in that job to build your confidence, right? And the thing is, even with this job thing, is that you don't become qualified for a certain job before you apply. You qualify for it 6 months into you being in that job, because how else are you gonna know how to do that job unless you're in? I just remember when I started my articles, and if you have done the CA journey, is that you will remember when we're in uni after CTA, all we thought about was, but what am I gonna do at work? Like, what am I gonna do on my first day? What if I mess this up? What if I do that? What if... It was scary because we had spent 4 years learning how to audit, learning about audit, but we had never audited before. We were not qualified for articles, right? But 6 months after you joined your articles, you knew. You became qualified to do that job, right? And that's like, this is so true for everything else in our lives. Like, if you want to start a business, stop overthinking it. If you want to be a coach, stop overthinking it. If you want to do whatever it is that you want to do, stop over planning, over researching, over learning. Just start doing and your confidence will come. When you have your first client, when you deliver your first coaching, when you deliver your first public speaking speech, when you do your job for the first time, you will build the confidence. It will come. When you get that feedback, it will build you and build you onto the next step. You build confidence through doing and not planning. The next lesson is that money returns, but time doesn't. This is a lesson I had to learn in the past 4 years of living in the UK, was that the time that I am sacrificing away from my family, I will never have this back. I have not lived with my youngest brother in the same house since he was born. By live, I mean live a full year with him in the house. We have not done that. When he was born, I was in matric. I then went to uni. I then started a job, and he lived in Limbs with my parents. I lived in Joburg. After my articles ended, I moved to the UK. Him and I have never lived in the same house, and I will never get that time back. And I have had to make peace with that fact, right? And understand that time I will never have back, but I can always make more money. So the lesson here is that be wise about what you sacrifice, right? Be very aware about what you are trading. If your job is keeping you away from your children, understand that you will never have that time back with your children. Understand that you can get another job, you can make money online, you can make money some other place, but the time that you're sacrificing away from your kids, from your family, from your husband, from your passion projects, from the things that you want to do, from the life that you want to have, you're not going to have the time back. And so make sure that your trade-off, the decision that you're making about this trade-off between time and money is worth it. Lesson 11 is that education will change your life. I don't even need to explain this, guys. Like, education will change your life. And yes, if you're somebody like me, you are black, you come from South Africa, you are a woman, education will change your life. I know people now are talking about how useless university degrees are in the new world of AI and how you can learn everything online. And yes, that is still education, by the way. That is still education. But if you come from where I come from, knowing how having a university degree increases your chances of success, of a chance at life, guys, take education seriously. Please encourage your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, your nieces, your nephews. Like, encourage them to go to school, guys. Please encourage them to go to school. Like, I have seen far too many people from my family, from people I know, who have taken school and education for granted. And now they sit in the sidelines on some, yeah, but you were lucky. Oh, but you, no, I took education seriously. I really took education seriously. This is not luck. Yes, it's by God's grace, but education, guys. Yo, lesson 12 is that you can reduce your expenses to a certain level, but at some point you just have to increase your income, right? Like, honestly, guys, in this economy that we live in today, I can only cut my expenses by so much. At the end of the day, I need to pay rent, I need to live somewhere, I need to pay bills, I need to buy food, and I need to be able to afford transport. Like, there's only so much you can cut. And I'm not talking about like being irresponsible with money. Obviously, if you're being irresponsible with your expenses, there is a chance that there are certain places where you could cut quite a large chunk of your expenses off, right? But I mean, genuinely, just living is expensive. Existing on this God's earth is expensive. And so at a certain point, we need to realize that you can only cut your expenses to a certain degree. You just need to make more money. And if you actually think about it, your capacity to make money is limitless, right? There's no limit to how much money you can make, but there is a limit. There is a limit to how much you can afford. And yeah, man, I think for me, that lesson, living in the UK as well has cemented this lesson so much for me to say, look, I make way above minimum wage. I don't even want to lie. I make way above minimum wage. But there are some months where I feel like I'm living paycheck to paycheck. There are some months where I feel like, man, 2 and 2 plus 2 is not equaling 4 here. Like, what is going on? And yeah, the thing is, like, we need to make more money. Like, we just need to make more money. So find a hustle, find a side thing, find whatever it is that you want to do that will give you an extra kick in your income, and try to do it. Actually, don't even try, do it. And the next lesson is change your mind as often as you need to. I have changed my mind a lot in the past 30 years. I thought I wanted to be a pilot at some point, and I changed my mind about that. I thought I wanted to be an engineer. Thank God I never went for that, because I feel like I'd be so miserable being an engineer. There was a time I thought I wanted to go into finance, and thank goodness that didn't work out, because again, I would be miserable. And look, I've changed my mind so many times. There was a time 2 years ago when I thought I want to move back to South Africa, and I was in the process of moving my things and doing all the things, and one day I just changed my mind. I said, nah, I actually don't want to do that, and I stopped. Like, guys, it's okay to change your mind, and I'm gonna tie this to the last lesson, right? It's okay to change your mind. There's nothing wrong. A wise man changes his mind. There's nothing wrong. When you know better, you do better. So change your mind if you need to change your mind. There's no one holding you down to a decision that you made before you have the new information that you have now. It's okay to say, look, I thought I wanted that thing, but actually, nah, I'm not about that anymore. And the next lesson is what you focus on grows. And this is deep. Like, this is deep. What you focus on grows, whether that is negativity, positivity. If you are somebody who's focusing on gym, your world about health grows. If you're somebody who's focusing on whatever it is, it grows. You know how when you speak about a certain car, you start seeing it everywhere, right? It's confirmation bias, right? What you focus on grows. And so be mindful of the people around you. Be mindful of the things that you expose yourself to. Be mindful of the things that you watch on social media, on Netflix, on YouTube. Be mindful of the things that consume your brain and that you fill your brain with, because those things grow. And equally, when you focus yourself or your energy on positivity grows. It's sort of like this thing that, you know, people talk about, like, you attract the things that you focus on. So it is like, it's so true, because I remember a time in my life where I was so focused on rejection, and like, it's all I could think about every day, because man, in that phase of my life, I was borderline depressed. I would sit and just think about, why are they rejecting me? What is wrong with me? I started to find fault in my abilities. I started to doubt myself. I had confidence issues. And so when I focused on those things, like, those things became my world, and it became my reality, and it became the default mentality that I had. But the thing is, it just grew, right? It just grew to much bigger than what it actually was. It became an identity thing. Like, you know, am I a failure? Am I somebody who's not good enough? You know, those type of things. And I just realized, you know what? I need to stop focusing on this. I need to focus on something that is more positive. And that's when the coaching came along, and I redirected my focus into the coaching, into learning how to coach, into enrolling in coaching school, and, you know, practicing and doing all of these things, which has just bred so much positivity now in my life. And so that's the lesson. Be mindful of the things that go through your mind, the thoughts that you have. What you meditate on grows. And the last one is making decisions, right? When you're making decisions, there's two types of decisions. There are decisions that are reversible, right? There are decisions that are reversible that you can make, and then if you don't like what's on the other side of the door, you can turn right back. Second, there are decisions that are not reversible. There are decisions that once you make that decision, for life, it's a one-way door. You can't come back, right? And I have learned to distinguish between these two different types of decisions. I have learned to spend more time in making the irreversible decision. So decisions, like irreversible decisions, are like decisions about your spouse, like who you're gonna marry, who you're gonna spend your life with, decisions about whether or not you wanna have kids, right? Decisions about big purchases like a house, like where you're gonna live, things like that. They impact your life so much, and more often than not they are irreversible. And I know that people will be like, yeah, but if my husband and I don't work out, we divorce, I get remarried, he get remarried, that's great. But I'm speaking from the perspective of a Christian woman here, where marriage is a covenant and it's sacred and it's not to be broken. It's a covenant you're not supposed to walk back on. I'm speaking from that perspective. And so for me, I've learned to spend more time on these decisions, and reversible decisions like what city I go to next, what job I have next, decisions about leaving my job or starting a business or doing YouTube, for example. Those are reversible decisions, and I've learned to not waste my energy on them. Like, yeah, if I decide to stop YouTube for a year, that's great, I can always come back to it. If I decide to quit my job and spend a couple of months unemployed, I can just jump right back into corporate whenever I feel like it. It's a reversible decision. And so the lesson here is to maybe, actually this is not even a lesson, maybe this is advice to say, weigh up your decision and think about them. Is it reversible? Is it non-reversible? If it's non-reversible, spend as much time. You need to make the right decision. If you're going to decide who you're marrying, you're going to decide whether or not to have kids, you need to spend as much time making this decision to make sure it's the right decision. Guys, once you have a child, there's no going back. You can't attend them. Non-refundable. Gotta live with them for the rest of your life. Right now, today, I called my mother and I asked for a little bit of money because I'm running low. I'm her kid. It's for the rest of her life. She can't return me. Do you get what I'm saying? But my job, whether or not I want to start a business, whether or not I want to move back to South Africa, that's a reversible decision. I can decide to move to South Africa tomorrow and then 2 weeks later decide to move back to the UK. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, focus your energy on decisions that are irreversible, decisions that have a significant impact on your life. Yes, there are some decisions that could be reversible, but they have such a huge impact on you. Spend a little bit more time on those things as well. So those are my lessons that I have learned. That's 15 lessons that I've shared so far that I have learned in my 30 years of life. And it's been a great 30 years. I mean, I spent my 20s investing in my education, investing in my qualification, investing in myself, and investing in new experiences, having moved abroad. I mean, I've traveled to maybe 9-ish different countries by now. I've lost count. But yeah, I mean, I've spent my 20s quite well, actually. And now in my 30s, I'm in a season where I'm ready to build. Like, I'm ready to build a business for myself. I'm ready to build into the life that I actually want to live. And I cannot wait for the next 5-10 years to see how all of this unfolds. Maybe the next time I do this lessons video, I'll be 40 and I'll be telling you guys about the stuff that I'm learning now in my 30s. And yeah, man, it's quite nice to think about just how my life has unfolded, and I couldn't be more grateful for how it's happened. And I wouldn't change anything in the way that has happened. I just feel like everything has happened at exactly when it needed to happen. Because I feel like there are certain things that if I had before, I wouldn't have been able to to hold. I wouldn't have had the capacity to receive them, because I just wasn't mature enough. I just didn't know as much as I know now. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to the rest of my 30s. And I hope you guys found something useful in this video. Let me know what resonated with you. Let me know if you have any lessons that you like. I want to share this lesson because we are a community that shares, and you know, people learn from other people as well. So drop it in the comment section, let us know your thoughts. Otherwise, do you like this video? Comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already. We are on our way to 10,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. I will see you in my next video. Bye.